Hello everybody, welcome. This is my scheduled live. This is the first time I've ever scheduled a live, and look, I didn't give you guys much notice. It was just an hour ahead because I was like, I should go live. I should probably tell people I'm going live. I really need to do that more often. However, it was a little bit tricky to figure out how to get on, but I'm here. I am here. And I just got this new necklace this week. I'm really excited about it, but it got a knot in the chain. It's a really fine chain and I don't know how to get it out. Any tips would definitely be appreciated because I have been trying for like 2 days. So I wanted to chat about divination this morning. Does anyone know what divination is? If you follow my page, hopefully you do, but that's okay if you're not quite sure. I'm interested to hear what you guys actually know. And instead of just lurking, I'd love for you guys to actually comment and get involved, right? Social media, let's get social, okay? Welcome everyone who has joined. Oh my God, I cannot get that. Wrong timing, I'm not gonna do it. Sit here with my tea instead. I just made this, so it's probably a bit too hot to drink, but oh, it feels nice and warm. I am feeling a little bit better today. I don't know if you can see my energy feels a little bit up. This is really positive. I've had a few people do some amazing healings for me, which has been great. Roll it between index and thumb to slacken it. Thank you, I will try that. And let's see if that works. That's helped. Also, the antibiotics I think have actually worked this time. Finally, but I'm on a very high dose. I think that's what was needed. My doctor said the last ones probably weren't strong enough to kick what I got. So, yes, feeling a bit better. Roll between index and thumb. Yeah, I can't. It's like, when it's so tight and you can't quite get anything in between it. No, I'll try it later. All right, and it's really cute because I've got this gorgeous, you might have seen it yesterday, little, let's see if I can, don't drop into my tea, Eye of Horus that I've been wearing on it. And I want to keep wearing it. It's super cute, right? It's super cute. So, tell me, what do you guys know about divination? What is it? Who can do it? What are some types? Let me know in the comments. I want this to be interactive. I'm not coming live to just give you guys a sermon. That's not what I want. I go live because I want the interaction and your energy as well. Sandy Amory says you can slide a needle in the knot. Oh, that's a great idea. I will absolutely try that. That's a really clever idea because it's super fun. I also don't want to break it. So I'm going to try that when I jump off. Now, LaFado says, I'm not sure what it means, to be honest. Perfect. Thank you for being honest. That's great. So divination, or the art of divination, is basically a method or a way or a tool of being able to find out something that wasn't possible to have known, to be figured out otherwise, right? There's no other rational way for you to have known that information other than through this method, and it foretells, forewarns, anything future based, right? Or gives you unknown information. Okay, that's usually what it means. Do we know any forms of divination? What does that word spark in your brain? What does it make you think about? This is my area of expertise. This is what my whole course is on, the art of psychic divination, where I teach all about it. But I just wanted to check in and see where you guys are at, what you know about it, right? Where are you coming from with it? So we've got a few different forms and I class them into 3. Okay, so I put divination into 3 different forms. Simple divination, that's anything that gives a yes or no answer. Can you think of anything that would give us a yes, no, or a simple answer? It's usually types of divination that you don't really need much training to do. Anyone can pick it up and pretty much figure it out. Okay, of course, guidance is helpful. Santia Marie says, divination is seeking knowledge of the divine. Yes, absolutely. Or communing with your divine. Okay, communing with whichever god, goddess that you work with. Intuition, meditation through clairvoyance. So not quite. So usually divination, I sort of put a little bit thing here is you use a tool, right? If you are sitting down and getting something through meditation, that's more just receiving psychic information, which is awesome and still totally a part of it. And when you're doing divination, you are accessing your psychic senses, you are opening them up. So that's why my course is psychic divination, because sometimes you might be pulling, I'm going to give you away one, pulling some tarot cards, and they will tell you something. They are the tool, the divinatory tool that's going to give you some information with what's on the card. But as you're going through, and this happens to me constantly whilst I'm doing a reading, say I've got this and I'm like, all right, but I'm actually hearing this word or this, saying, the going gets tough, the tough get going, whatever, like just pull that out of my ass. But that's the sort of stuff I get, like weird little quotes like that may or may not relate to the card, but it's not listed as like a traditional meaning anywhere. But as I'm reading, that's opening up my clairaudience. So I'll hear that and I go, okay, I'm also getting along with this. And that just sort of bulks out the reading and makes it better, right? So you're using it. Yes, pendulum, Santia Marie says, pendulum. Yes, absolutely. That is a simple form of divination. Excellent. I use my body and muscle test. Yes, that's another form. So anything like that is using the idiomotor effect. So muscle testing, any form of kinesiology, and using things like a pendulum. So I'll pull mine out here. We were talking about pendulums on my live yesterday. So pendulums, absolutely they are a form of simple divination. You can give this to someone at a baby shower and they can put it over the lady's tummy, and they'll get a yes or no, whether it's a girl or a boy, right? That is commonly accepted in the wider realm of the world outside of witchcraft as a form of divination, gender guessing, okay? So this one is going to give us a yes, no based on the way it moves. Now you can use, a pendulum board, or you can just know which way your particular pendulum moves. You can check against your own energy. There's many different ways that we can do it. Do pendulums only give us yes, no answers, or can they be used for something else? What do you reckon? What do we reckon? Can they do anything else? Are they a one and done type of tool? Curious on what you guys think. What's it going to tell us? I will show you something in a minute, but I'd like to know what you guys think. So let's have a look. We can hold this up and I can get a yes, no response in many different scenarios. So Lucy says yes and no only, question mark. So yes and no is the predominant way to be used. So you ask a question, it tells you yes or it tells you no. Another way to use it is, let's just say you get a piece of paper and draw a map of your house. I do this all the time and you're like, I have lost my phone. I do that all the time, or my glasses or whatever I've lost. And so you can put this over the map, backwards and forwards, and wait until you see a yes response, and that'll be telling you. So yes, you're still getting a yes, no response, but you're outside the scope of just asking questions. You're using something else to find, that's called dowsing, okay? So we can do that. We can find lost items with it. There is another thing, mine wobbles as well, yeah. Clockwise, yes, counterclockwise, no. Wobble of us too much. Awesome. That's a great way to do it. Mine is also clockwise as yes, and anti-clockwise is no. That's mine, but it's not the same for everybody. Now, another really great way, and I'm going to use it today, and it's really potent. It's something I was going to do today. So we can use it to cleanse things, and I'm going to use it to cleanse my throat chakra, because as you can tell, my voice is a little, I can't use my voice very much because I've been coughing for a month straight. I have a lung infection at the moment, and I don't have a lot of air going through here. Okay, so when I'm talking, I'm feeling it a lot in my throat. So I'm going to use this to cleanse my throat chakra. How do we do that? Firstly, you have to know what your yes response is. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to hold it, and you can do this on other people as well, but you hold it in front of the energy center, throat chakra, third eye, crown. It's a bit hard for you to hold it over your crown chakra, but someone else could do it for you. Heart, your solar plexus, sacral, and your root chakra. Okay, so I'm going to hold it here. Now, what normally happens is it sort of just starts going, and it often moves very differently to how it would normally move for you when you're doing a reading, right? So you might get to know how it usually moves when you're doing yes, no questions, or however you use your pendulum, and it might move slightly different. At the moment, it's going backwards and forwards. And what I'm doing is I'm waiting for this to go into a yes response, okay? So at the moment, it's moving through that energy. I'm just going to put it a bit closer. So So once it goes to a yes response, that's when it's telling you it's done. And then usually just stop still. And it's going through a bit, hey? Still backwards and forwards. Still moving through it. Now sometimes it can move like wildly different, like really big. My pendulum doesn't usually make big movements. All right, I think we're getting there. Look at that. It's moving into a circle, there we go. Thank you, pendulum. All right, so that's in the clockwise circle. I'll just wait for it to come to a stop. My arm is hurting, pendulum. There we go. Look at that, you did so well. Mwah. All right, I'll pop it back in its little bag. So that is how we clear a chakra. You can do that over a tarot deck. You can do that over any item that you want to cleanse, okay? So you can use your pendulum for so much more than what we've been taught and told that we can do. It's a really, really useful tool. Aquarium Moon says, hope you feel better soon. Do you have the Rona? No, I don't have COVID, thankfully, but I did have COVID in March and I had it quite severely. I was coughing up a lot of blood. And I actually think it did some damage to my lungs because since then I've had 2 lung infections, which is not great, you know. So since March I've had 2, one in June and this one that's gone from July through to August. It's been a month that I've been battling this. I'm on my 3rd round of antibiotics, but finally I have some life because I'm not kidding. Even just a couple of days ago, I was still getting full body chills and not like the clairsentient chills. Like I was chills and fevers, full body aches. My joints were hurting, like all the joints were hurting, feeling like they'd swollen up. I had just no energy. I was like lying on the bed, on the couch, and my husband was just like, you look so miserable. I was like, I feel miserable. But thankfully I saw a different GP. He got a chest x-ray, got me on, did a proper test of what I was coughing up and got me on some pretty intense antibiotics. And I'm feeling a little bit better, which is good. Very good. I surprisingly, whilst I felt very miserable, and this has been very drawn out, it's not been as bad as when I did have COVID. I was like, I felt like I was on my deathbed. I was in bed, I couldn't leave bed. This is when I've been able to move around a little bit. I've been prioritizing rest. So even on my work days, I've just been like, no, I'm just going to go chill on the couch and just rest because I need that for me. So yeah, it's not been fun. It's been a pretty tough year sick-wise. And this past month, as well as this, I've also had 13 migraines, which is a lot more than usual and not good at all. It definitely hurts to cough when you have a migraine, so not fun. Sorry, I know it's not nice listening to someone cough. So tell me, yes, self-care is absolutely important, something I'm really not great at. I struggle to switch off. So I want to know, what did you guys think about the pendulum, using it to clear a chakra energy? A chakra center, how did that feel? Be careful, mine is still aching from January. Try acupuncture for the long-term neuropathy of COVID. I've tried acupuncture a few times. It's never really worked for me. I don't think it's my thing. So I use lots of other things. I use lots of herbs and stuff. But every time I've tried acupuncture, I haven't noticed any difference. But that's just me. That's just me. I think it's a very valid form. But yes, so that's simple divination, okay? What do you think are some things, and you know, we have lots of other stuff in simple divination. You could flip a coin, that sort of a thing. What are some things in classic divination that we could, you know, something used as a system that we could use? System style divination. Can you think of anything before I tell you all? So think about classic divination, what people go, oh yeah, I do divination because I do X, Y, and Z. One of the things we all sort of think of. And they use a system. You have to learn something. You can't just come in off the street and give you more than a yes or no response. I have mentioned one already, if you've been paying attention. Have a little think. There's a couple that come to mind. There are 3 that I teach about in my course in the classic divination module. So I do have, there's the foundations of psychic divination that I do the first module. So before you do anything, we'll learn those basics. Then we go straight into simple divination, which is what we were just talking about, things like pendulums. And I share, so that was just like a tiny snippet. There is like a full in-depth pendulum class in there. Then we go into symbolism and learning symbology. And then we do our classic divination. Sorry. Crystals and essential oils I use while meditation. Great for helping you get into meditation, not a form of classic divination. So what do we reckon it could be? Uses a system to draw on, to draw meaning from. Does anyone? Oh, Aquarian Moon Tarot. Yes, that is absolutely one. So cartomancy. Now, anytime we're looking at a word like cartomancy, you might recognize the mancy suffix. The prefix, runes, yes, absolutely. The prefix or the prefix, the part at the start of the word, tells us what we're using. So cart is Latin for card, and mancy means divination. So when we think of things like cartomancy, chiromancy, chiro is hand divination or palmistry, okay? So some of them have like a colloquial term, palmistry, or chiromancy, talking about the hand, okay? And using hands for divination. So tea leaves. Now tea leaves I actually class in free-flowing divination. There is not like, when you pull a tarot card, there is a certain system that you're using, there are 78 cards. There are this many this, there are this many in this suit. This one means that. There is a system behind it. Palmistry, this line is that, this line is that, this line is this. You got your headline, your lifeline, your love line. This is where they are in your hand. They don't change. Like your lines do change around a bit, but the location of them doesn't change. This is the Mount of Venus. What does that mean? X, Y, Z. And then astrology is another one. So astrology is Indigo Moonflower. I joined late. I hope you're on the mend. Thank you. I am feeling a bit better. I've got a little bit more energy. So numerology, yeah, that would be definitely as well. So anything that's got that system behind it where it's almost got that set of meanings. If we go to tea leaf reading, there's not so much. And same with things like, so this is the last module that I include in my course because it is the most difficult. So you've got to work up there. I pull you along in a certain strategic manner to get you ready for that. So tasseomancy, which is tea leaf reading. Any form of pyromancy, which is fire scrying, water scrying, wax scrying, smoke scrying. This one, black moon scrying, right? Black moon, that'd be cool. Black mirror scrying, okay? That sort of stuff is free flowing. Have you ever seen a book that gives you a set of like, if you see this in your black mirror, this is what it means? No, because it's not how it works. It is totally personal. Scrying is, there is so much more scope. You have to have a very thorough knowledge of symbols and their meanings, both personal and universal symbolism. Personal symbolism is totally different and it's going to differ from person to person. Universal symbolism is sort of like everyone knows what it would mean. A butterfly means transformation and change. We all know that. That's common throughout the world, right? But maybe you saw a butterfly on the day that you birthed your baby, and maybe for you it means babies, right? So you've got that, you see a butterfly in the bottom of your tea leaves, you're like, oh, someone's having a baby, right? So you've got personal and universal symbolism, and there is not really any sort of set system that you're drawing on. There's a little bit on location in the cup, but it's not universal. Okay, so that's why I put it into the free flowing. All right, so cool. How do you use the mirror? Oh, it's so much fun. I only use the mirror, so I'm really finicky with it. So I use my black mirror to commune with my deity, which is Thoth. I'll show you. He's over there. Hello. Just chilling out over there. So I will use my black mirror only on a dark moon. That's the only time of the month that I will use it. Now, when is the dark moon? It's just before the new moon. Okay, it's when the sky is completely black. There is no sliver of anything. Okay, so it's just before. So it's super, super waning, I guess. Now, what I do is I've got mine on a plate stand. Now, this is obsidian, which is a form of glass. It can shatter. It's very fragile. Now, like, it's a little thick, but I'm so careful with it. This thing is not cheap. This was a 30th birthday gift from my husband a little while back. Now, what you need to do with these, you can see it's very reflective, isn't it? You can see there's my window. Hello. You can see the beautiful blue sky and the trees out there. So with this, you sort of set it up in front of you. Now, the way I do it, and of course I teach this like quite thoroughly in the course, but I actually lie down on my stomach on the floor. And you want to do it in pretty much pitch black, which is why I do it on the dark moon. Because if there is a full moon in the sky, there's literally going to be too much light coming in through the windows. Okay. The dark moon is also particularly good for divination. Okay. Also Pisces moons, really good for divination. So another little sip, I'll just lubricate that throat. So then we have to set up a candle, right? And you don't want that candle to be directly in line, okay? If I have that candle right here in front of it and I'm looking into it, all I'm going to see is my face. I don't want to see my face. There are forms of mirror scrying where you do want to see your face, but this is not the way I do it. So you want it in the room just the tiniest bit of light, right? A little tea light is all you need. And then what you're going to do is go into a trance meditation. Not everyone can just do that straight off the bat. That's something you have to practice. And I usually take with me, a little notepad and pen. Put the notepad in front of me, lying on my stomach, go into my trance meditation and gaze into the mirror. And you almost unfocus your eyes. Now, sometimes you will see shapes moving in the mirror. Sometimes it just activates going into that trance state, and any form of scrying can activate your clairvoyance coming through. So you might see it in your mind's eye, you might see it physically in the mirror. The mirror is the tool to get there, okay? And then what I do is, because when you're in that state, sometimes 10 minutes feels like an hour. Sometimes 1 hour feels like 1 minute. Like time moves really weirdly in that state. So all I do is just write as I'm seeing it. So I'm not looking down. I'm not breaking my gaze and writing it down. I'm just almost like letting it come through. Do not interpret as it comes through. That will block you. So you just let it come in and just write it down, draw it down. I can't see what I'm doing. It's very dark. Sometimes it's all a mess. I'm like, what did I write? But that's how you sort of do it, and then you interpret it later. It's really, really, really cool. It's really fun. Santia Marie says, I have golden and silver sheen obsidian spheres I use for gazing. Yes, they're so pretty. They're really pretty. They almost look like they've got water with like gold sparkles in it, and as you move it, like the water's going to move around. It's really cool. I've seen those. I'm just going to put this in an area where my arms can't knock it off the table, because we do not want that out of my clumsy reach. So yes, so that's just one, right? That is just one. Awesome. So I've sort of just gone into two really fun forms of divination, but of course, we don't have time today to go into all of them. But if that interests you, if this makes you feel excited, so the course I'm talking about, so Aquarium Moon, it's not the webinar. The webinar is almost like a prequel, right? To this, if you're reading the series, like a prequel, it's just for those that don't believe they're ready for it. So that's why I did the webinar, because a lot of people are like, I can't do a psychic divination course. I'm not psychic. Wrong. Everyone is psychic, and this course is built for people who are total beginners. But that was almost just like a prequel to just get people primed and ready to realize that they do have it in them. But the course itself, is on my website under courses. It's linked in my bio. You can get there very easily. It's called The Art of Psychic Divination. It's more than just a webinar. It is 7 modules. Okay, so it's I got the webinar, I couldn't find the course. Well, even if you DM me, I'll send you the direct link very easily. So the course is, as I said, 7 modules. So if you do the live version of the course, which starts on Monday, that means you'll get module 1 on Monday, and you'll get a module every single week, along with a psychic development circle with myself, where we sit in circle and we talk about what was in the module, answer any questions, do some really fun exercises in circle together, which is the best place to do them. And you get instant validation, feedback, and responses from me, and I can help you with anything anyone's having trouble with. So it's really, really great for your growth and development. And then, the next week you're going to get the next module, and we'll do the same again for 7 weeks. Okay. If you get the webinar bonus, then you actually get 10 of those psychic development circles. So then there's the go at your own pace version, which means you just get all of the modules and you can do them whenever you want. It's approximately 7 hours worth of video content with your workbook as well. You've got access to the private Facebook group for discussion and connection also. How long is the module? I have an 11-month-old baby. He's bossy. Totally get that. Each module is less than an hour, okay, of video content that you do the workbook alongside. It's not boring. It is not someone just like sitting. I've done courses before and I was like, oh my God, I can't actually stay focused on this because they've just got a blatant background behind them and they're just talking at me with like headphones in. No, I've made it so that it's visually appealing. I'm showing you things. I'm like, this is how we do it. This is exactly how you do it. You can follow along at home, save it for later. Look, we're going to do it together. We're going to interpret this together. You get my examples, all of that. It's very interactive. You know, I'm asking questions in your workbook to try and get you really involved. I want you guys to learn, right? I really want you guys to take it all on board. It's really, really fun. You're very welcome. Very welcome. Lafayette says, thank you for doing what you're doing. So yes, even if you've got a baby, so you could get, you know, half a module. You don't have to watch it all in one chunk. Half module 1 during nap time. Or, you know, another half at night time once they go down. And you're done for the week. Okay? So instead of watching an episode of, I don't know, Sex and the City, you watch an episode of Hannah and Divination. Divination in the suburbs. Maybe I should have called it that. No, I don't want people in the countries or the cities to feel left out. But that is kind of the overall vibe. And the doors do close this Sunday, which is Australian time Sunday. So that's early Sunday for those in the US. I highly recommend you jump in because I won't actually be offering it again this year. Because especially doing those psychic circles every week. And for those on the webinar bonus, I do it for 10 weeks. So that's a lot of time. And then I need a little bit of a break there for my own family time. So this is the time to get in and do it and to see that growth that comes with it. And I've had previous students that are now going on to pursue mediumship as a career, which is so cool, right? That is so cool that they're like, I never thought I could ever do anything like this. And now I have the confidence to go and do that. So it's just really, really amazing to see that transformation in people. So fun, excited. How was the Psychic Witch by Matt Oren? I haven't started yet. I'm excited to start the course here in Canada. So Psychic Witch is actually one of the texts that I recommend in the course. We go through one of the modules and that's like my recommended reading list. So I've got those sorts of things included in there. And if you like or want to know a little bit more, I did actually interview Matt on my podcast, which is the Witch Talks podcast, episode 20 from memory. That was a really fun episode. So definitely go and listen to that. I do recommend his book. It's very good. It's very good. It is, just so you know, it's not a book that you read like a novel. It is a book of exercises. Okay. So yes, I have read that one. And it's great. There's a few other recommended books that I put in the course for people to continue and further on their reading, which is, and you know, further on their path and their progression in all of those sorts of things. Yes, going to listen. Yes, it's a good episode. Very good episode. So have you already signed up or are you thinking of signing up? No, you said you couldn't find where the course was. Yep. Let me know. I'll send you the direct link. Yeah, just DM me. We'll chat after this. I'm going to have to jump off because I've got my headache and migraine clinic appointment this morning. So if you guys know that I've been dealing with that pretty badly this month, but fingers crossed, I think we're figuring it out. So I've been going twice a week for 2 weeks. I've got one more week of going twice a week. So hopefully get on top of it. But yes, DM me. I'll chat with you soon. Anyone else that's interested, DM me. I've got my DMs are always open. If you guys have any questions about divination, psychic stuff, I had a dream and I don't know what it meant. Well, send me a DM. Like, I'll help you. If I don't know, or if I want to point you in the direction to do it yourself, I will. But I've got those resources as well. Like, I want to help you guys. I don't want to just do things for whatever. Lucy says, thank you for your wisdom. Feel better. Thank you. Good luck. Hope you're able to find relief. Me too. Thank you. I have hope. And I'm feeling hopeful again, whereas last week I was feeling pretty not hopeful, which is a little scary. Didn't like that dip. But sometimes being ill, and especially with a chronic illness like migraines like that, it can toy with your mental health a bit and you go up and down. We all do that. And that's okay. So have a lovely day or evening, wherever you are in the world today. We will chat again soon. My DMs are open. And if you want any more information, let me know. And don't forget, The doors close this weekend. There is not much longer. So if you're on the fence, jump off. Love you all. Have a great day.